Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We're marching on with the sandpiper, and I just wanted to just go over a couple of things from the last video, just to keep you abreast of what we're doing. On this grouping right in here, I had you burn, where I asked you to put a quill, sort of like a quill down the middle, and then you burn deep on the leading edge on all of these up in here and here, okay? And I was hoping that you got it done on both sides, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is show you what to do for the primaries, which is the ones that come down almost and lay onto the tail. So I'm going to show you how to do them today, and we'll raise up the wing so that it'll meet it properly. And I just wanted to get you going on that. And I'm doing a piecemeal, and I'm not trying to throw so much at you all at once. So I hope this pace is all right for you. I know giving you a lot, and sometimes I get real talkative and try to show you a lot in a video, and that can get kind of lengthy, and you may have to break that up yourself. So I'm going to try to keep it reasonable. So bear with me on that. I'm hoping that this is helpful for you, and it'll make it reasonable in the length. The other thing I wanted to state too is for those who, excuse me, that want to try to do this and are following me on videos, and it doesn't have to be just this one. I have several of them out there on different birds and an animal as well. And if you'd like to try it, I do have kits available, and they come with the feet, the eyes, the blank, and the pattern, okay? And it'd be exact to what I do, and to scale and the whole bit. And the patterns are pretty good for the most part. And you can follow me along. And if you ever have any questions, I'm always open to make some comments back. You know, I'll try to answer whatever problems you have. I've had some inquiries on sealing and stuff like that. I do have a video out on how to seal the piece before you start painting and stuff like that. And I use a Krylon spray, which is 51301, but Krylon has changed different formulas. The other thing I wanted to state too, that Deft also has a good sealer as well. There is another one too. I always try to remember it. I've been using Krylon for so long, but it's not always easy for some to get. And I used to have it and wouldn't want to send it out, but from what I understand now, it's like taboo for me to send an aerosol can through the mail. Now you can get it that way. For my way of mailing through the post office, they won't accept it. So you could get it through a lot of different places. You know, it could be Amazon or whoever else has it. Maybe an art store in your area and things like that. So, and I'm also going to ask, if you enjoy what you see in the video, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have friends or anybody that may be interested, if you could put my information on to them, that would be great, because I'm trying to build up the channel and get as many subscribers as I can. And I'm growing, but it's a process, you know, and not everybody's doing carving, you know, and the popularity's there, but I find it, you know, I used to just teach classes here in my studio, and I had like 4 classes a week, and now it's worldwide, and it's kind of amazing. So I'm very flattered that I've got as much attention as I have, and I appreciate it for all who are following me. So I'm going to proceed on. I'm going to bring the camera down. We're going to try to do the rest of the primaries at the end of the wing, and then we'll dress out the tail a little bit to get ready for like the next stages on that too. Okay, so bear with me, and I'm going to bring the camera down and we'll continue on. Okay, here we go. What I'm going to try to do now is, I've done some of this ahead of time, but I'm going to do it in front of you anyway. We had these primaries, these feathers here. This is where the center line was coming down. These feathers encroached over to the other side here slightly, and these came over, and it would look like this feather except that it's going underneath, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this side look like it's laying on this side. So what I've done, and I'm going to get my burner out, and what I'm also going to do is I put my optivisor on. You guys don't see that. These are the magnifiers, and it really helps me out a lot to see everything I want to see, you know, when we're doing this and staying on the line work. So what I'm doing here is I came in on the pencil line and I turned my burner on. Now I'm using an Optima unit. It's called an Optima one. Their pens I really like. I have them as a 12, a 12S, and a 5. The 5 is a spear-shaped one, which is fine for any of the work we're doing, especially this area in here. This is a 12S, which is thinner, and 12 is also, it's got a rounded heel, so it allows you to maneuver and get curves and stuff like that. So here we go. I came in and I laid my burner right on the line, and I come in and I burn that line in, okay? And what we're trying to create here is a stop. So like when you were using a knife before, you used to have to make a cut into whatever you're trying to do, and then you'd come up to it and that pops right off. Well, this is basically a similar process, and what we're doing here is when we come along with a bit right up to it, this will just come right off, not off, but act as a stop to what we want to stage as like shingling. We're going to be going down. So I did all of these on both sides. I did this side all the way down, and then I did this side. And you should have had all this already and seen this from the last video. So I'm just running this through again just so you can see it. But that's what I did. And the setting I use for mine is between 5, 5.5 on this type of burning, okay? I'm just really trying to act as just a staging to be able to undercut now. Now, what I'm going to use to take these feathers down in here, this is called a diamond. It's a safe end. It has no diamond on the end. It only has it in the barrel here. So I'm going to come in with my micro grinder, and I'm going to plug that in there. Now, I leave this sticking out a little bit so I can reach in a lot easier. And you don't want to have it too far out, but you want it out. You could see I have it a pretty good distance out. And hopefully your barrel is straight because if it isn't, it's going to wobble, and then that's not what you want. You got to make everything run just very smoothly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bit, the end, right up to that burn, and I'm doing the right side here, not the left first. So I'm coming in here, and I'm coming right down along that burn. If you can see that well. And then I'm going to do this side. I'm going to come up to this grouping, but I'm stopping short. I don't want to go into my existing feathers that I already burnt already. So I'm going to be careful when I come up. But I'm just lifting this feather. So if you got your nail in there, you get a little flick. It's not that high. They don't have to be real high. Now, I got the first one done. And if you notice, it sort of smooths out away from it, and it almost prepares the one below it as you're doing this, if you do it right. Okay, so now, as far as smoothing it out, now I'm going to do the second one, which is this one right behind it. I'm going to lay this in here. Come around. And I want you to lay this flat now, even though it's a rolling surface. I want you to get that so it's flat, because we're trying to make a shingling effect coming down. And we want to get a little bit of a lift from this one down to this one, down to this one, and so on. So we're trying to, and then if you missed it and you didn't get close enough, you can always come back again. As long as I usually get like one of my fingers on here to steady me, and then I go through that. And I don't want to go real deep. And like I said, if you can get your nail in there and just get a little flick, you're good enough. You know, it's that small. It's not a great lift. Now, I'm not worrying about the feathers on this side. If I lose them, I'll come back in and burn them again. I'm trying to get these to look on top. So these are the ones that count right now. So I come down here. Now, if you notice, I tilt my birch so that even though it's rolling, I'm sort of I'm going with the roll at the same time. It is a flattening effect. So we get the next one. And then I'm going to do the next one. And keep on doing this right on down. And if you happen to get a little off track, you can always go back and reburn it and do it again. Now, when you come up to these existing ones, you want to sort of don't go banging into these that we already did. Okay, clean it up as close as you can, and then come back. Okay. Then we do the next one. We keep on coming down each one. I hope you can see this well. And it may not come real smooth the first time I do it, but if you notice, I go back and forth until I get a real nice smooth. Because this is a fine diamond, these safe ends, they give you a real nice smooth surface. You don't really have to go back and sand them or anything else. And it gives you that edge automatically, just by riding along that edge, okay? Then I'm going to do the next one. And this is ideal for lifting feathers. There's several ways I lift feathers, but in general, this bit is the one I probably use the most. Although you've seen me do it with flame tips and bullets and everything else. It depends on how steady you are, but these can make life a lot easier because everything comes out pretty smooth and you're getting a shingling effect. And if you miss a spot, I just use a light touch. I'm not really taking a lot of material out. And bingo, there it is. Now, if you notice, you're getting like a groove in here, and I'll show you. We'll get to that. Right now, I'm just concentrating on the feathers on this side to get them out. Now I'm going to do one more here. Come around here. I think I did this one already. I just didn't doing it again. But I'm not really taking a lot off now. Now I got the last one, which is right here. I'm going to come around here. Let me do that again. Close. Coming around here. Notice how I tilt the bird so that I'm laying it flat. Okay. The feathers are rolling, but I need you to come in and get it sort of flattened as it rolls. Boy, that's a misnomer there, isn't it? There you go. Now, the next one begins and ends right here. So, let me clean this last one up. I can see some things I missed. So the nice part about it is you can come back in with a gentle touch and bring it in. Now I'm going to do this next one. And I'm following that right on down. Try not to go into the feathers that you did in front. If you did, you can always go back and reburn them too. Okay. And then, let's see, we got that one. I don't know what it is. This one right up here, I still have a little ridge line. I got it out. And if you get too high of a lift, you can always take the feather in front of it and bring it down just a little bit. Now, I want to start up here, on this one here, this last one here. I'm going to start right here. Hope you can see this well. And try to take this down just a little bit, local to the end of the big feather here, the primary at the end. Then I'm coming around here, and here, clean that one up. Okay. Now, let me establish something here. Let me shut this off. Okay. Shut the wrong machine off. There we go. Now, I said that we'd have one more feather that came down. And what it's going to do, it's going to come all the way down to here. I don't know if you can see that pencil line. I'm going to bring this back right on up and join here. And here's where our wing was. And I'm pulling that up just slightly. So what I'm going to do on that line, just to help us again, is I'm going to burn in that last line. It goes from here, and it actually goes under the feather here, or stops right there. So I'm going to lay this right here. I'm following my pencil line. And this is just a final adjustment, and that last feather is going to go up and under the ones we have staging itself coming down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back with my micro grinder again. The one on top is really high because I want to bring this down to look like it's rolling down and not being stuck out so far. So I'm going to come in here and taking a roll. Now this isn't where the burn is. This is the feather above it, okay, just to make it look like it's part of this. Then the burn line, now I'm going to go in from up here, and I'm going to undercut that right on up to these feathers that are coming off the breast here, okay? And we will address this more because this gets undercut later on, you'll see. And we have a lot of material right here. So let me show you how I treat that. This here, we have a chunk of wood right up here because all these feathers started pulling in tight. And if you looked at the way we had brought these out before, they came out and they're like thick in here, right in this area here. So I'm going to come down and lower these slightly. So what I'm going to use on that one is not the safe end, but I'm going to go in with my diamond bullet, and I'm going to clean that out a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to lay this so I'm undercutting that last burn line. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to lay that right here. I'm keeping the burn line there. I'm just undercutting along here right now. But we'll do more up in here. But just to clean this up. Now, what I end up doing, and let me explain this to you, there's a channel edge that gets created. Here's the last feather that came up and around. Okay, that's that edge that came all the way down to here. That is one edge, here's the other edge, and we got a valley in between. I'm gonna blend this out, but not too much, because what's happening is we got a tail to get in here. So I'm gonna just come in here like this and sort of plane this out, just to flatten it just a little bit, so that it looks like we have some lift right here at the edge of the burn, and we take this out. But we have, maybe an eighth of an inch at the end and a quarter of an inch back here. You could take it down a little bit. We got room to play there, but you don't want to take too much out, okay? So, and then I'm going to take this excess right in here, which is going to have to go eventually. So it looks like this is rolling around, okay? Not that it has to. We're going to address that later when we do the rump. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see that real well. Let me get my point in here. Right here. I'm going to undercut this so that it looks like these feathers are raised up just slightly on the ends here. And I'm only going in. So let me get a pencil in there so you can see what I got. Here's the last feather, which is coming around like this one. And then I'm back in here. There's a little bit of a lift, maybe a 1/16 to this surface here. And you still want to maintain a lot of this. And you're trying to flatten this for when we go to do the tail. Okay, I'm just going to clean that up like that. Now, what we're trying to get is an illusion of these feathers being on top of these, and these are going underneath. So what's happening here, as we came through with our safe end, we cleaned each one of them out as we went, and I said I didn't worry about this side, and I didn't always tilt them up. I was just following it, and what you end up is like a ridge line here, okay, which is right here. And I'm going to try to blend that back a little bit. So to do that, I'll go in with my pear. I'll get my pear just to soften it out. I'm not trying to take a lot of material out. This is just a light skim to get rid of that edge, just like that. I have not put hardly any pressure at all, but I want to get this roll. It looks like it's coming back into here. So I'm just gently going over this. Hope you can see this well. And now we still have our roll again. And that edge, hopefully, is out of there. We always hope that we do it right. Okay. Now that we did that, and we have this sort of rolling nicely around without any edges, and I still have an edge, excuse me, I can feel it. If I get a pencil in here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, there's still an edge right there. So if you get like a regular pencil, you can do that and just soften that out. And I mean soften it. I'm not taking a lot of material. It's still a rolling surface here. Now that we did that, all these lines that came back in here, you can come back and you pencil them back in, even though we wiped it out. And what they are, this will fall short of there, this one falls short of there, because they're going underneath. This one comes here, short of that point. This one comes here, short of that point, and so on, right on down, okay? This comes around here, so that stops right there. This one falls short of that, and then you got this last one, which comes out to here, and then these come around and join up. Okay, now we lost our burn, so I got to go back and burn these in. So most of the burn is right local to where these are on the top and these are on the bottom. So I'm just going to burn it in this direction. Get that in there. Put that one in there like that. Put this one in here. You try to track it right where you had it before. Yeah, I said that and just went off track. Just take your time. Right there. Make sure you know when to stop. Follow your pencil line work or your burn. Then I'm going to come down here. And anytime, if you had to come back and resurrect something over here, you can burn these to get a sharper edge, okay? And just burn them in on this side just to enhance them more, okay? Because it acts as a stop when you come this way too, on this side. So hope I didn't confuse you on that move. As soon as I say stay on your line work, I jumped off. So there we go. We're tracking right down. And then we got this one right here. It stops right there. Okay, we got everything back where it belongs. Now, I'm going to go back to my safe end again. That's this guy here. Again, it has no diamond on the end. And you don't want to stick it out too far, but you want to get it out because you have a better reach in that way. So I'm going to start on this upper one. And I don't want to bang into here. I can see where I stopped here. And if it need be, you could pencil that in just so you can see where these ended, so you don't go banging into them. So I'm going to start right at that edge. Lay my bit right up against the burn. And then come down on this side here. Get it nice and smooth. Don't go real deep, okay? If you do, then bring down the feather on top. Bring it down a little bit. Then I'm going to the next one. And you want to almost get the whole bit running flat on there, if you can understand what I'm trying to get. It's rolling, but at the same time, you're flattening it, okay? And the nice part about with this, it's a real fine grit. And you really don't have to sand this after you're done. But you have to pivot the bird so that you're running flat right, and you have a nice angle going in there to that burn. Now, sometimes this gets a little high here, so you may have to push this down just a little bit to get that illusion that this is going down. Sometimes you may lose a burn like right there, so if you do, just come back and reburn that one area. See, because this has sometimes like a bump in here. You can almost see part of it still here. We may not have rolled this enough at the end. So this is the time to get everything just so. So I'm going to come back right in here. I'm going to burn that again, so I want to try to keep everything uniform and sort of the same. Now we go back again. And as you're moving around, if you see some line work, say I see some little edges there still that I raised before I got to the burn. So I'll just come back, gently come in and move your bit closer to where the burn should be. And just take your time. It takes a little practice. Like I said, I make everything look easy because I've been doing it too long. So you may not get it perfect the first time. Now here I'm going to sort of take some of it down. Because you can see we lowered a lot on this side. We still have a chunk in there. So we'll do the next one. And if I miss something along the way, I'll come back and get it, you know. And sometimes you think you're up to the burn and you're not, which I have done here already. So I'm pushing this down a little bit more. Okay. And if it gets too high from the other ones, you can always go over that and lower it. Now I'm going to do this one. Here. Bring that up and around. And then I'll do this last one. I'll do this one gently as I come along here. Got a big chunk of stuff I got to get out of there, and I'll take care of that. That blends up like that. Now, like we did on the other side, this has one more feather, okay? This is our bottom down here, and then this is going to swing up and join up, okay? And we're just filling in an area. These aren't specific numbers for each one. There's a lot of them in there, but we're making an illusion that this is what it would look like. And it does in general. So what we have here is I undercut this line, which was the last line coming up. I didn't burn this one in. And this feather is going from here to here, okay? But we have a real drop off here. So what I'm going to do is undercut this last feather here and try to roll it down a little bit more. So watch me here on this one. It's right here. That edge right there, I'm going to try to almost roll it to this pencil mark I have here, at least getting it down close to it. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to go in and burn that pencil line in that I just put in. And that pencil line went from here right up to here. Let me mark that in so you can see it clear. I can't even see it myself. Here it is right here. It's right there. And it comes down to there. And it's all the way up to here, but I'm only trying to get this lifted. So what I want to do now is, just like we lowered some of the material on this side, I need to do that on this side. And to do that, I will use my what's the name? My bullet shape. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I have this outside edge all the way up to here. And you can see we started lifting some of this in here. I got to do that on this side now. So I'm going to lay this on the outside of the burn. And I'm going down about a 1/16. Literally getting in like a channel in there. Like that. And I'm going to run that down here. Okay. So I have a double-edged channel. One of them is the edge of the feather down here. The other one's on the breast area over here. So let me get this in here. This is the one. I want to get an illusion of lifting these feathers off of this tail. So I bury this to get a 1/16 in there. Now, what I'm going to do is come in and flatten that. And if I need to, I'll lift a little bit on the other side to make this look like it's I put a pencil line in there. Let me get that. This is coming up, and you can see by the pencil that there's a little bit of air in between the top of this feather and the tail. And I'm trying to clean this up a little bit better right in here. Just trying to flatten it on the top here, because we're going to have to draw some more feathers in there eventually with the tail. So I'm smoothing this out to get like almost a flat surface in here. And I'm doing this with a bullet most of it, but I usually switch over sometimes to the pear, but in this case, I'm going to do the pear back here. Now, here's what I got. When I put that channel coming all the way up, this has to go. Here's my edge of my wing now. And it comes all the way back to here. And this looks like it's lifting a little bit. This has to get knocked down. The channel edge, this is the edge of the feather on top. This is the one that's on the breast area right here. I'm going to smooth that over with the pear. I'll show you. I get my pear. This is a ruby pear. Excellent for doing this. It gets you in close. And it gets rid of that channel edge. And what I do is I roll that back to the center of the body, or the breast area, I should say. Then I'm going to come now. I'm going to make some X's here so you can see this. This and this all has to go down. It's just a chunk of that I don't need. So I'm taking that in, sort of pulling that tail in a little bit. Let me turn this around in a minute here. And I got rid of that. So here's what you got. You got this tail sort of coming this way. It's a small little tail, but through here we got to lift these feathers here. These tail feathers are laying above it. If you see the drawing here, there's a little bit of air between the end of the feathers, the primaries, and the tail feather down here. And that's what we're trying to do. And at the same time, you're trying to set up this nice and smooth in this area here so that we could draw these feathers in when we go to do the tail, okay? So we almost got it there. I'm going to come back with the safe end on this last one here and dress these out just as a final wrap up on this. So here we go. I'm going to come in here. And if you got some of these feathers that have a bigger lip than you want, you can always come over and just lower it slightly. Just slightly. You don't want them so exaggerated up. Okay, you want them uniform. So I'm smoothing this down like so for now. Okay, so they all look like they're rolling down. Okay, now we got that. So we have a look of these looking like they're on top of this side. So the right side of the bird is on top. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that greatly. And if you know any friends, if you could pinpoint to them that I'm out there, I would appreciate that greatly. It helps me grow my channel. And if you ever need anything, my email address to get a hold of my catalog is Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 at gmail.com. So I hope to see you on the next video. On the next video, we are going to be burning in the details and lifting them. So I'll show you that on the next one. Okay, so I'm sort of breaking this up so that I don't give you everything all at once. It gets pretty lengthy. So see you on the next video.